Here's a tutorial about setting up lessons in Populi. First of all, just a word about lessons. And this is a bigger idea that has to do with design. And I want to just say a couple things about that. And first of all, to follow the advice of our friend Winnie the Pooh and to think, because good design takes a long time. Paul Rand has said design is so simple. That's why it's so complicated. And the idea here is that to make things look well, it's really hard to do. And secondly is the advice of the old trope to keep it simple. A while ago, Apple was trying to make a remote control, and they looked at the remotes that were out there, and there were millions of different buttons all over the place. And they decided, you know what, we want to keep it simple, so there are only like 3 buttons that actually can do almost everything you want to do. I want to show you a little bit of a video from a professor named Michael Wesch, and he has done some amazing things with online teaching. And this is one of the parts from one of his classes where he is talking about how he sets up his online classes. And I think it has some great stuff to say about simplicity and designing simplicity into our classes.
Kind of amazing. I think there's a lot of things we can do that you can't do in the classroom. And I actually think we're going to do this better.
That took way longer than I thought it would.
All right, so let me give you a tour of my class, and I'll give you 10 tips for building your best online class ever. Tip number 1, simplify the structure. One of the most revolutionary things you can do is also the simplest. Consider each and every link your student sees. This is what my class used to look like. And then I asked myself, do my students need all of these links, or will they just add confusion? When they have an assignment, will they look under Pages, Assignments, Files? When they want to discuss something, will they go to Discussions, Conferences, Collaborations, or Chat? There's a little bit too much confusion here, and students might not always know where to find the things that they need. So I like to go with a completely minimalist menu system. So here's what my class looks like now. You can see there's actually nothing over here in the menu other than a simple toggle between Grades and Home. So over here, I've built all the modules, and it creates a clear linear path through the material. The big upside to this is that it becomes mobile friendly. Without a left menu, the mobile experience matches the desktop experience, and students can quickly navigate forward and backward through the material, confident that they are not missing anything. I also build simplicity and consistency into the modules, so every week students know there will be 2 to 3 hours of readings, followed by a quiz, 2 discussions, and an activity. 3 things due every Sunday at midnight. Same 3 things every week. Every module, every week is the same in this basic structure.
I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when you think of how Converge was set up, that it was just one long page and then everything linked off of that. However, in Populi, it's a little bit different. This is what the students see, and there are a bunch of different options for them. And so we are going to adopt a new motto, and that is to live in the lessons, and that is to have the lessons as the one central place where everything lives. And so as you're setting that up, we actually have a few different options, and I'm going to call option A the one with multiple weeks. And so when you get into your, when you sign in, you can go to My Courses and then find the class that you want to work on. This is the one you've set up already with like the profile picture. And as you click on that, you will see lessons. And again, this is where we will live. We will live in the lessons. And so you see this part here where you can add a lesson. And so what you could do is divide your class into different weeks. That would kind of make sense. If you have an online class, it would be 8 weeks. If you have, I think the new structure we're going over, it's 13, 14 weeks, whatever it is. And so what you could do is you could just set up a lesson for every week. And that means when the students go to that lesson page, you can divide this up. And so week 1 would have maybe your introduction things like that. And so when you go to this, you see, and you hit the view part of it. So if you click on week 1 and you go to design, this is how you're actually going to set it up. Now you can go to like a heading, and you can set this up as the first part of your class. And so one thing that I do is every week, kind of like what the video talked about, is just have the same structure every single time. And so you can do context, and then if you add another heading, you can maybe have the content. This is where the readings would be, the lectures, videos, things like that. Add another heading, and then this would be connection. This is where maybe you'll have discussions, group projects, things like that. And so when you look at the view of that, you will see this. And so you could have it set up like this, so where every different week has the same structure within it. Or we could choose option B, which would be to have just one central homepage, kind of like how Converge looked. And so to do this, you would go to your lessons and then add a lesson. And instead of dividing up into different lessons, we're just going to make one sort of lesson to rule them all, kind of like the one ring to rule them all. And so we're just going to put homepage on here, and then go in that homepage and then hit design. And then we're going to divide up the homepage. And so you would go to a heading, and this is where you would put things like week 1 or unit 1 or whatever you're going to do, save that. And then just, I don't know what'd come after week 1, I guess week 2 might, right? That would make sense. And so this is where we would start dividing it up into smaller chunks. But again, you are going to see all of this from one page. And again, this is sort of like how Converge was set up. So when you look at this, the view of it, rather than just seeing 1 week, we see everything. And then when the students look at this, they're going to see everything, and they can just scroll down, up and down. So all the videos, all the lessons, everything is going to be in this one place here. And I think that'll make it easier for them.